All right, so we're here. Shoot, Gilly, man, did you ever think that when you first started the program, that you would be here doing a little podcast with me in this dope studio right here?
Shit, hell no, bro. Oh God, honestly, I barely like trusted in like everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I knew I was down. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I didn't think too far ahead. To be honest with you, I was only thinking like 15, 20 pounds, bro.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. So for everybody who's watching, this is Gilly or Gilbert. We call him Gilly. We kind of fought, basically son him a little bit. Gilly, we gotta keep him humble. You know what I'm saying? But when he first started, he was a client of mine, and he just wanted to lose some weight. And he was, on drugs. We could talk about that a little bit. Drinking, smoking, things like that, and completely altered, changed his life. That's why he's sitting right here. But it's just crazy, man. So, like, talk to me, bro. Like, how do you feel right now? How?
Man, I mean, to be honest, like my identity feels like 100% like great, because I mean, there's little things that you always like taught me coming into the program where, you always said like focus on identity, like it comes up to like cleaning your room, washing your car, stuff like that, but it also came up to massive things like how you dress, how you handle yourself, how you walk, you know what I'm saying? The way you carry yourself around this world. So like, doing little things like that. I remember when you talked about like you went to Mexico, right, with to do the mastermind with Yados, right? And there was like this room that you got and you were so fucking pissed about that shit
Hmm.
because you're like this isn't what the fuck like I
Yeah.
paid for. Like fuck that. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And you were talking about how it fucked up your identity and shit. And it's super dope because I mean, when you came to pick me up, you came to the crib and shit, right? And so right outside the apartments that I stay at is the fucking bus stop, right? And when I was walking to the gates and shit, right, all I saw was this big old shiny red piece of metal in Vallejo at the bus stop, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, wow, that's crazy. Cause so many times I was waiting at that fucking bus stop, dog, to go take an hour and a half bus ride to Napa for me to go to school,
Yeah.
and from Napa go back fucking home. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And even there's a lot of things that like fucked my identity that like even when I was like 15 and a half, my wife used to pick me up in a
Hmm.
car, her mom's car, right? And it would fuck up my identity that I wasn't driving it. I didn't even care about the Prius. It
Hmm.
was just like I wish I was driving. I was super embarrassed and shit
I
like
see.
that. So just being here and things
Right.
like that is just like a huge boost.
Yeah.
Like talking to you, talking to my coach, you know what I'm saying? Having Coach V with us, you know what I'm saying? The way we pulled up, you feel me? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's 100. I'm feeling like
But
at 10.
right. But how long did it take you to really understand that your identity wasn't where it should have been?
Hmm.
Because I remember your first coaching call when you were on there, there was like 20 of us, or
Yeah.
15, 20 of us. The team has grown quite a lot. So
Yeah.
there's like 70 of us on a Zoom call every week. But on that Zoom call, you had your questions that you had for me written out,
Hmm.
and I was talking about
Yeah.
everything but your questions. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the heck is this guy talking about? I was talking about nothing but personal development stuff.
Yeah.
And now you get it, but back then, like, it was a shock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, the craziest part was, I mean, we got all walks of life in that call. I was like, damn, am I the youngest motherfucker in this bitch right now? I was like,
Yeah.
I think I am, but I was embracing it. I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. And so on top of that, everyone's talking about some real life shit. Like people are talking about like, drinking problems or relationships and shit, like real like personal development shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I was just like, God damn, it's some deep ass shit. We talking about some crazy shit in front of people we
Did
don't
that
even
scare
fucking
you a little
know.
bit, though?
Nah, it didn't scare me. It made me like I know they were talking about their shit, but it made me think about like what I was struggling, right? And so I was like, fuck, like I'm over here thinking we're about to talk about like oh yeah, I just hit a PR in the gym and shit like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like bro's over here talking about like vices and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know what a vice was,
Yeah.
like the definition of a vice.
Yeah.
And I think that was like one of the things that I asked you, and you're like, you had mentioned what a vice was, and I was like, fuck, I got all of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I literally was smoking still. You know, I like the last time I had drank, you know, was like literally like a week ago
A
from
week
that
ago,
call.
yeah,
A week
yeah,
ago
yeah,
from that
from
call.
that
And
call,
so, and you
yeah,
know, but I was like, man, I fucking hate drinking and shit, you know, because like I had experienced something bad that made me like, I ain't ever going to drink no more because of this
right,
dumbass shit, you know? And, you know, just drugs, like all that shit in general wrapped up in a ball, you know, was just like, oh, fuck, you know, I'm plagued with vices, right? So, I knew that when I wanted to raise my hand. One, because it's a Zoom call, so I'm all about participation. Even like in when I was in school, I always raised my hand and shit. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like regardless if I was like fucking with it or not, I just that's how I learned. So I knew that I wanted to raise my hand and ask a question. So the question I was gonna ask was just like about my fitness pal and the macro adjustments and shit. I was just like, yo, as I'm burning calories, this shit's going up. Which one do I follow with? Right. And then when I heard like the tone of the room got set, I was like, all right, I definitely not gonna ask that shit because I was thinking about, well, what's my vice and the biggest thing that I struggle with. I was like, fuck, bro, like you know, I got kicked out of the army for smoking weed, damn near for all the jobs that I've had was like me getting fired and shit, you know, like I got fired damn near from every goddamn job for being late, and it was just like bad habits and shit because of smoking and drinking, you know, being lazy, you know, having nothing like good. I was a, you know, piece of shit damn near, nothing good going for me. So I had asked that and I was just like, yep, that's the biggest one to ask right there, you know, speak
Mm-hmm.
up, you know. And
Yeah,
I'll never forget that call. That call
mm-hmm.
changed my fucking life, you know.
Yeah,
That day of that call, bro, like I fucking stopped fucking smoking.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I stopped everything, just went cold turkey on life. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
even went on social media and just started unfollowing every fucking person and everything that was just like had vices. Like people were going out smoking and drinking.
Yeah,
I just needed to cleanse my mind and all these triggers and shit, you
yeah.
know? So
Yeah, I
like that
remember
was
when he
a
said. I remember when he said that you got rid of the weed. I
oh
did.
yeah.
You like stomped
Yes.
on your glass pipes and all the weed and everything, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just threw everything away.
Yep, exactly. I mean,
That's what it takes sometimes.
I was it was the reason why I did that shit is because I've been in that spot before. My mindset was already like, you know what? I'm good because I had like 2 grams of wax left, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, fuck, bro. Like I just bought this shit, you know? And so I was like, I'm gonna just stop smoking after I finish these 2 grams of wax. I'm gonna just smoke this shit
Mm-hmm.
up real quick and then I'll stop. And then I stopped for a second. I was like, nah, that's like the bitch way to do it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I gotta throw this shit away. And I remember I was playing video games with my buddy, right? And he was like, bro, you're gonna be digging in that trash, bro, in a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
And I was like, you're fucking right. I was
yeah, yeah.
like, I'm gonna go throw away the trash right now,
Mm-hmm.
bro. And I threw away my wax and then I fucking busted my fucking
Yeah,
piece, right? My dab rig and shit. And I was just like, fuck, like I needed to clear everything, like all the paraphernalia, just clean out the closet damn
yeah.
near, you
Right,
know?
right.
And that included like the social media shit, you know, like not hanging around anybody that was dealing with that shit, you know. I was just like fucking like fasting, literally, like
Yeah,
mentally inside of just all this negative bullshit that I just kept up with for like 12 years, bro. Like
yeah,
over a decade of just like
yeah,
addiction and shit.
yeah. Well, one of the questions that I asked you, or that you were asking, you were just like, well, what if it doesn't work? Wasn't that the question that you were
Yeah,
asking?
I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
I was like,
Right.
you were like, what are you so worried about, bro?
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah,
are you so scared of, dog?
yeah.
You know? And I was like, well, bro, like I always relapse. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I was like, coach, I always relapse. So I mean, my biggest scare is like, what if I relapse again, and what if I don't do it? You know? And like you responded to that shit like boom on the dot. You know what I'm saying? It was so beautiful. I'll never forget it. I'm telling you, you said, bro, that's gonna be the last time. Right, that right there, you know, it was like the coaching started right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, we're never, ever gonna say those words again, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever say that you always relapse.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that shit. And you like got the attention of the room. Did everybody hear that shit? Like
Mm-hmm.
all you guys, like That it's that type of shit right
Mm,
there. You know, he's like, what if you do, bro? He was like, what if you do like stop smoking? Who would you become and shit? You know
mhm,
what I mean?
mhm.
And like, how would that look like, dog? Like, how would Gilbert be if he was fucking sober, ripped, and all this shit? And I was like, it made me think. I literally was just like going into looking into my future, and honestly, I was just like, damn, what I thought of don't even compare to this. This is way better where I'm at right now. Like, but my
Right.
mind like was thinking so small still, but it was
Yeah.
also like, bro, I knew I would be better. I was like, fuck. And it got me just so hungry and curious. So I was like, my actions just started. I was like, well, I'm never gonna get there if I don't fucking stop that shit. So
Yeah.
that what if just led me to like to where fuck we're at right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the power of words. I mean, a lot of people just start prophesying so much over their life, but it's always negative. They're always like, "Well, what if it doesn't work out?" Or I'm always I always overeat. I'm always like late. I'm always this. It's always
Mm-hmm.
negative. You're literally like putting the pavers for that destination. So like your vocabulary is highly important. So people don't even realize that they're setting traps for themselves. Like the life that they're actually looking at is actually them. If you think about it, your life, everything that you don't like about it, you actually created it. You created it with your thoughts, your energy, your actions. So now, I mean, you're sitting pretty good now. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're in a good spot. So fast forward, basically, I get you ripped. You were like what, 195 pounds?
Yeah, I was like
Uh,
190 at my heaviest, but I was heavier
yeah,
than that because before I did that, I was doing a
right.
lot of fucking shit, and I thought I
Okay.
was like,
Let's just say
yeah,
you're 200. All
yeah,
right.
for
We got
sure.
you all the way down to what, like 135,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
139, yeah, and a
Yeah.
half.
So
Yep.
that we literally got all the fat off of
Yeah,
you. And I'm talking about you need to though. You
yeah.
got to go through that spiritual metamorphosis right there to experience like just this transformation. So we got you there, and then you started doing good. And then I just remember this moment we had at the gym
Mm.
in one of the rooms. You were just like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to like, you know, I'm gonna have to become a tow truck driver to like
Yeah.
make shit work." Explain to me what happened because
Oh
I
my
think that was
God.
another moment as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. The first one was let's drop the weed. Yes, you can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, fuck it. All right, let's do it. And then I got you ripped. And then you met
Mm-hmm.
another roadblock at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was like another like a paradigm shift of fucking limiting beliefs being broke and shit. And it was just because I mean, all I've known, bro, you know, is just get a fucking job, pay for your shit, you know what I'm saying? I never ever seen somebody in my life except you. You're the first person that showed me, you know, like what being successful and how you can make a living off the way you do. So I mean, at that time, right, me and my wife had like separated for a little bit, and so you know, at that time, honestly, I was really dependent on her because she was in the military, like doing basic training, and we had this whole fucking plan that I was gonna go move out to like Louisiana with her, you know, BAH, all that bullshit. If you're military, you know exactly how it goes down and shit. And so I had quit my job and fucking was being a stay at home dad, just taking care of my two kids and shit. And so when I took it on like a small ass role at the gym, thanks to you, you know, you gave me a little you were like, if you want, bro, you know, like I think it'd be great like for you to be like an instructor over here for one of the classes and shit. And so I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'll do it, bro. You know, like not thinking much of it and shit, you know. And so when that had happened, when I was going through this shit, right? I mean, I wasn't doing enough for like to provide for my two kids, for myself, you know what I'm saying? And it was I was in a position where it was like, fuck, like my mind went to the scarcity and shit, you know. I like shrink down at the level that I was truly at,
Hmm.
you know. And so what did I want to do? I wanted to go sell out, get a part-time or a full whatever. I just wanted like a stability, a stable check, you know what I'm saying, like coming in that would make me feel like okay, like
Hmm.
I'm okay here, you know, because I mean, I've seen my parents, they worked all their damn life. Everyone I know worked all their damn life. I've never seen somebody like thug it out put in the work and
Yeah.
fucking really like
But that's
never cap themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just kind of like how you do.
So let me just recap for everybody. Like he just started like on this journey, got ripped, dropped vices, like in crazy ass shape. Like you got completely diced. Then you got like your first test. For any of you guys who start out on self betterment, guess what? You're gonna have a massive test. You're gonna have a mini test. You're gonna have a massive test, and his massive test was going through a breakup. And I know we didn't talk about that. That's what led him to like, shit, I'm gonna have to like figure out a way out of this. And that way out of it was safety.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people run to. And in terms of what we do, we don't go to safety. We already know what that life leads to. And that's why when we had that conversation, I was like, no, like we're not taking back steps. Like I know what happens when people do that. You start going back to your old life. That's one massive leap towards your old life. Then you hang out with those type of people. Then it's like, hey, bro, like we're all going to fucking this burger spot, and then it leads to, hey, bro, we're have a drink, and then it leads to more and more and more. Then we lose this good transformation that we got.
Yeah.
And that was like I already saw that. So that's
That's
like
crazy.
foresight.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we did was I was like, bro, you're not going to become a tow truck driver. No offense to any of the tow truck drivers out there. It's just not
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You're headed down a different path. His brother is a tow truck driver. No offense, but like that's his career. So what we did was kind of talked you into it and talk some life into you. That's
Yeah.
what people need.
Yeah, for
They need
sure.
life, bro. What we do is we speak life into people. We breathe life just like a plant, like we water people. That's one of the most important things in life. That's a fruit. That's actual fruit. Me having a Lambo outside and having an Audi that you guys drove in, that's not a fruit. Having a real fruit is being able to spark life into somebody, to speak something into existence. That's real right there. That's something spiritual. That's not like tangible. A lot of people have things, but that doesn't mean they have fruit. Like that, it's something internal. It's something spiritual. So after that, we spoke a lot of life into you, and then we prayed. It was like one of the first times that I know it got that bad that we had to pray over this motherfucker. You know what I mean? No, but for real, like I really believe, like to think that you're just gonna, do this all on your own and I'm gonna help you do this. No, you're tripping. Like you actually need God's guidance and humble all of ourselves to be like, and God, like we're gonna need some support. And I truly believed after that prayer that it was answered. Like I truly believed that it was gonna work out. I didn't have any second guessing about it. And that's how you should go into prayer.
Right.
It's like you shouldn't say the prayer and wait to see if it's going to happen. You should go into the prayer and be like, it already happened.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, you followed through with a lot of the leadership and the coaching. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where, you were like co-laboring with God, just like how you teach a lot of us to. A lot of people pray and then, well, just like you said, they hope, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, not only like I listened, of course, but you also did so much more than you needed to like make that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, honest, that's what you offer. You offer your your
Life.
fucking exactly. You offer that, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of people mistake that shit, and they're like, "Fuck that." Like so many people, everyone except you guys, except for you, except for Coach V. You know what I'm saying? Told me, dude, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're like you are bugging, bro. Like you definitely got to go, like switch it up. Go get a job. They'll understand. If they
Everything
really
that we did with you was crazy. Got you to
Yeah.
135. That's freaking crazy.
Yep.
You're not smoking. You're not drinking. That's crazy.
Yep.
You wake up at 3:30 in the morning. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Everything is crazy. But to us, I'm like, as you should.
Right. 100%. 100%, bro. And I honestly, because everything worked out, because I let you coach me, and everything that I applied always came through on the other end, right? I just let that was like 100%, like the rapport was on 10, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like I trusted you 100%. So I mean, you kept saying to me all the time, like, bro, like check the source, check the source. If you're gonna go ahead and fucking listen, who are you listening to? Would you switch places with them? And I was like, fuck, you know what I mean? And so why am I
Yeah.
gonna listen to like mom, dad, brother, my family who are all saying, bro, you're crazy. Like, why are you going to do that? You know what I mean? They didn't understand. They don't understand. How could they? It's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't know what they don't fucking know. And me seeing you on a day to day, me seeing Coach V, me seeing the level up. And so I knew that if I just trusted you and just like, fuck, I'm going to take this out on a wing, you know, like, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna trust coach, and if it don't work out, fuck it,
I'm
you
gonna
know.
blame him.
Yeah, that's literally. I was like, it's fuck, you know what I'm saying? But you know, all in all, dude, like it's
Well,
fucking life changing.
well, here's the thing. Like, most people want to be in shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to live a healthier life, a better life, and they're just like, well, that's good for you, Gilly. Like, uh, they don't really recognize it too much until the money factor comes in. The
Yeah.
money factor starts perking people's eyes up and be like, wait, you're not making $1,000 a month anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because now you're still a little kid at that
Yeah.
point where, like, yeah, you're in shape, but you still don't make any money. Go get a job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or yeah, you hit your macros or whatever. How is that like? How is that important? You know what I
Yep.
mean? The money factor for people really like shocks people, and so like that's why I'm happy you're starting to check off some of those boxes. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you making your first 10K is the lowest level box, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the biggest box because now you're starting to make more than literally 85% of people in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that. And those are the same people that tell you, go get a job, go get a normal
Yeah.
job,
Yep.
go to school, like don't be in the gym all day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like, why are you going to hire a coach? And I'm not even saying your parents told you that, but
Yeah.
like society tells you that. And
100%.
and I'm like, no, 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 like don't listen to any of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
focus on personal development and a skill set. Personal development and a skill set. Personal development is like discipline,
Mm-hmm.
confidence, self-esteem, self-identity. And then a skill set is like sales, marketing, any sort of skills that pay the bills, like
Right.
anything that's valuable. Um, so like, but are you seeing now that people are starting to kind of like, maybe you are kind of like onto something?
Yeah.
Like maybe you weren't so off, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe are they asking questions now? Because they
Mm-hmm.
will at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, yeah, and it's just because I mean, after like, sticking to what I stick to, they're like, well, how are you still like getting by in some, like, because everyone asks, well, how much you make an hour and things like that, and it's like, oh
It's not
wow.
even about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, like they'll be like, well, how long do you work? You know what I mean? And think like those
They ask the
questions.
dumbest questions,
Right.
bro. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
stupidest, lowest level questions.
Yep.
I never thought about how much I made. I made $12 an hour
Yeah.
doing construction, and I knew I
Exactly.
wasn't gonna make it. I was like, what am I doing outside of work to make me make $1,200 an hour
Mm-hmm.
or $12,000 an hour?
Right.
Like it's all the stuff outside of the normal 9 to 5.
Yep.
And
Yep.
those are all the things that we've been working on with you.
Yeah.
Like day in,
Exactly.
day out. It's like grass though. Like it takes a while for it to, well, or something that takes a long time to grow. Like it takes a little while. But once it
Mm-hmm.
starts going, dude, 10K could turn into 18K, and 18K could turn into 28K real fucking fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Straight up.
But you can't turn $12 an hour to $17 real fast.
Fuck
That's
no.
going to take like, dude, it's never gonna happen. Like that's
Yeah.
like 8 years of working.
Yeah.
You know what I
Straight
mean?
up.
Or $12 to $30 or $12 to
Mm-hmm.
$50. That's like a whole lifetime right there for
Yeah.
most people. But you don't realize that you could totally put yourself in a position where you're doing not the norm. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
totally doing the opposite of what most people do. But
Yeah.
they're too scared.
Yep.
And they don't have somebody to like grab them by the collar and be like, no, do this. And I know it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be scary. They don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You've had the privilege to see me and Coach V and whoever else like do that. That's why testimonies are super important.
Yeah.
Like now your friends see it's possible,
Yeah.
and they're gonna walk somewhat in your footsteps very close. They're gonna be like, well, fuck, Gilbert did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he dropped weed, dropped drinking, and those are lower level shit. Like if that's still a flex, that shouldn't be a flex after like 6 months. You should really be like, all right, well, what's the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Like get out the hood or whatever. Get into a new spot. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. You know, and like honestly, the beautiful part of it is just like me being dumb and like just wanted to get like in shape and shit, not knowing that the blueprint that you showed me was gonna take me so far in life because you taught me how to dial in my habits, you know. And it started off with just, you know, waking up earlier, hitting your macros, and going to the gym, don't smoke, you know what I'm saying? Those little things, we see it for what they are, you know, for the face value. Like, all right, like I got to literally hit my macros, literally, right? But realistically, you taught me how to master like dialing in a habit, right? So now after you're good at doing that and that becomes normal to you, now I don't even see it as a habit. It's just more, that's my life, right? Learning how to make that shift in order from, okay, now pick whatever habit you fucking want and go take over the world now. You know what I mean? Pick a skill, you know what I'm saying? Sales. All right. Lock in on sales, and now you're gonna be able to make more money. You know what I mean? Whatever you decided to be, if I wanted to be a doctor or whatever, you know, you taught me the way I needed to pretty much just succeed in as a human being. Self mastery. Yep, it's crazy.
Most businesses, like, if you can learn how to be successful outside of the business, then you'll probably be successful inside of the business. It's all of the habits on the outside. So it's your wake ups, it's your spiritual hygiene, it's your mental hygiene, it's all these different hygienes that you have. If you could get in shape, which signifies like discipline, self-love, self-worth, that you deserve all the best. When you go back into whatever business you have, you're gonna do better. You're gonna perform way better. Like, but most people are just like, well, I'm trying to get the bag first. I'm like, don't do that, bro. Like, you're low level. You're not that disciplined. Your thoughts aren't like constructed that clearly in that high frequency. It's just, so I think that's the good thing that we did with you, was really focus on personal development first. That's like home base. Now you could do whatever you want. Obviously you can't ever stop working on yourself, but you could do, I mean, you could, whatever you want to do, you can do it, basically, because you know how to do it. So shoot, man, I mean, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
This is literally like, that's what kind of fires me up. Most people would be like, oh my God, you're this greatest testimony. And yes, you are. But I'm like, dude, we have way more to do. This is just the freaking beginning. And I get fired up at it. Now we just push the gas down farther. Most people are just like, they're not even awake to this. And that's a tool of the devil. Yeah. Honestly, I think people are a reflection of, like, we're in the age of the devil, basically. Like it's hypnotic rhythm 101. Like, people don't even realize what the heck they're doing. They don't even realize what they're saying. They don't even, you see what I mean? Like, all these different things. It's crazy. I'm like, nah, bro, nah. All of it's like, a lot of it's off. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Shit, I think we went way over 30.
No, that's 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But that was good, bro. I mean, shoot. I think that's a wrap, guys.
Yep.
This is Gilly. Continue watching his story. We're going to keep leveling up.
Fuck yeah.
Let's get it.